always connected, but somehow alone. Trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling.
Okay, check out this list. Now these are solar observatories, and in Australia, Chile, Spain, 2 in Hawaii, and 1 in Pennsylvania. All of these went down at the exact same time as the solar observatory in New Mexico. So all 6 of these went down at the exact same time and are still down.
We have word now that the U.S. Marines have activated a space unit. They're saying that this Marine Corps Forces Space Command, or the Marines for Space, is a subordinate organization to the U.S. Space Command.
These are all solar space cams. This is SOHO. This is on NASA's own website. A live feed stream from the SOHO Solar Telescope has been shut down.
It will provide space operational support to the Fleet Marine Forces' ability to increase their warfighting lethality in space. They have this brand new unit that they've put into motion, and they're just letting it be known. I mean, all these moves are being made. The very next thing is going to be battles taking place in this domain.
The White House telling Fox Business it's now considering declaring a national climate emergency.
NBC News has reported that if Joe Biden declares a national climate emergency, he would have COVID-like powers under that emergency. And they also compared the emergency powers to the 9/11 emergency powers. The Center for Biological Diversity has estimated Joe Biden would get about 130 wartime-like powers. By which to bypass democracy and impose a Green New Deal on America without a single vote of Congress. This is being widely reported in the media. The Biden White House is leaking this out. This might happen, and this is going to give Joe Biden, these kind of, you want to say the word dictatorial powers. He doesn't need no stinking democracy to impose the Green New Deal if he does this.
Are you saying the map is wrong?
Oh dear, yes. Look at Greenland.
Okay.
Now look at Africa.
Okay.
The 2 land masses appear to be roughly the same size.
Yes.
Would it blow your mind if I told you that Africa is in reality 14 times larger?
Yes.
Here we have Europe, drawn considerably larger than South America. When it's 6.9 million square miles, South America is almost double the size of Europe's 3.8 million.
Alaska appears 3 times as large as Mexico, when Mexico is larger by 0.1 million square miles.
Germany appears in the middle of the map when it's in the northernmost quarter of the Earth.
Wait. Relative size is one thing, but you're telling me that Germany isn't where we think it is?
Nothing's where you think it is.
China. Okay, so very similar to this map. North America, South America, Africa, India, China, Russia. Okay? Only thing different, Australia. There is no Australia here because it hasn't been discovered yet. This is 1587. Australia wasn't discovered until 1606. But my main question is, if this is a globe flattened out and this is on the bottom, right? What the fuck is this? There's no ice on it. Antarctica was discovered in 1820. And if you look, oh look, there's an alligator, here's a camel, warm weather animals. So, you want to explain to me, first thing, what the hell is this, all this land? And second thing, what froze them? What happened between 1587 in 1892 where those areas got frozen.
In the spring of 1561, many people in and around the German city of Nuremberg witnessed a swarm of strange flying objects appeared to do battle in the sky. A local publisher printed a broadsheet that recorded the event and depicted it in a striking woodcut illustration. Hans Glasse was a Lutheran printer and publisher in the Protestant city of Nuremberg. According to Glasse's account, the sighting over Nuremberg began between 4 and 5 in the morning on Friday, April 14th, 1561. It was just after sunrise when a number of people within and around the city saw a dreadful apparition in the sky. The sun turned blood red and shone red in all directions. At the same time or later, 2 blood-red semicircular arcs like 2 quarter moons with their tips pointed downwards appeared in the middle of the sun. The illustration shows these arcs several times wider than the sun itself. There were a large number of spherical objects scattered over top of and around the sun. Many were blood red as well, but others were a partly dull, partly black ferrous color, depicted in the image like rusty blackened iron.
Right, so I don't know what's going on. We're back in Greece, by the way, alright? I never saw this since I'm here.
It's orange, everything.
It's completely orange. The sun should be there somewhere.
But look there.
But look at it. Looks like there's graphene or like black.
Many of the spheres were grouped 3 in a row, or 4 in a square, though others were on their own. Intermingled amongst all the spheres and crosses were blood-red strips. Various objects appeared to interact with one another in a way that witnesses interpreted as a battle. The spheres floating inside the sun flew out to join those on the sides, while the spheres on the sides and those inside the tubes flew into the sun. Meanwhile, the spheres around the sun flew back and forth amongst themselves, as if they were fighting one another. After more than an hour of this activity, it reached its maximum intensity, and the objects fell out of the sky as if they all burned, or as if everything were on fire, depending on the translation. Once the objects landed in the fields below, they slowly wasted or faded away, producing an immense amount of smoke in the process. Oddly, the woodcut appears to show the smoke being produced from open pipe ends sticking up from the earth. The last thing that anyone saw in the sky that morning was a black, spear-shaped apparition, described as being massive in size and pointing to the west. In 1566, the Swiss city of Basel had its own aerial display. At sunrise, numerous large black spheres appeared in the air and repeatedly flew into the sun and darted towards one another as if they were fighting. Many of these spheres turned red and fiery and were consumed in the air. As in the sighting over Nuremberg, witnesses described the event as a battle.
During the test of the deployment system for the Vapor clouds, 4 sub-payloads with mixtures of barium and strontium will be ejected from the main payload, and the Vapor will be deployed while the payload is descending. The main payload releases will occur at an altitude around 118 miles. Report from Airborne Optical Platform of recorded video in lithium clouds, also visible by ground observation. NASA's ICESat satellite is equipped with a laser. Metamaterial cloaking. It's an invisibility cloak. It's accomplished by manipulating the paths traversed by light through a novel optical material. Metamaterials direct and control the propagation and transmission of specified parts of the light spectrum and demonstrate the potential to render an object seemingly invisible. Metamaterial cloaking, based on transformation optics, describes the process of shielding something from view by controlling electromagnetic radiation. Objects in the defined location are still present, but incident waves are guided around them without being affected by the object itself. Nanomaterials have been developed that produce negative index of refraction. Such materials are artificially engineered nanostructures. Embodiments of the present disclosure can provide techniques, including systems or methods for cloaking objects at certain frequencies or over certain frequency ranges.
Neha, neha, yuna, neha. Neha ne, o neha yuna, neha ne, o neha yuna, neha ne.
The Cree prophecy of the warrior of the rainbow is basically that there will come a time in this planet's lifetime where the rivers and plants and earth will start to poison us. Everything that we've used will start to harm us.
Just imagine if we actually understood how much energy each one of us creates and what effect does it have on the outside world. Thank you for watching, and much love.